Good morning, hope you're doing really well. Today I am on the very famous Devil's Dyke overlooking Brighton and the Sussex coast, and it is a gorgeous day today. I can pretty much see 360 degrees if I get up to that trig point up in the distance. But today we are going to be checking out this mysterious building in front of us, which has a very interesting piece of history attached to it. So stay with me, let's go do it. Come on. Hello everybody, welcome to what was affectionately known as the Bomb House. It's interesting, it's such a sort of relic of history's sort of long forgotten wartime past that we sort of seem to have here, especially on the Sussex sort of downs, on the South Downs should I politely say. So what happened was, in 1918 the government requisitioned Devil's Dyke and they turned it into a munitions ground and testing facility. And actually this is probably the only building that survives of that period. It's interesting because obviously it does date from World War One, and what they would have done was they would have suspended bombs from huge cables that would have hung from a framework of pylons that would have been each side of the valley, and that would have probably been just over there, if you can see that sort of trig point just beyond in the actual dike itself. And they would have been dropped from about 250 feet, and predominantly they might have used Cooper bombs, which was the sort of theory, which was actually one of the main, well, the main bomb that was being used for World War One bombers, and they were probably testing them out. And then this was effectively known, like I said, as the bomb house, and this was used to make and store detonators. So this is what that building was used for. And originally it probably would have had some steel sheets that would have lined the house, because as you can probably tell, it's a very rectangular and square sort of purpose-built design, which made it really interesting. If you've never seen anything like this, you sort of think, oh, that's interesting. Probably your first observations would be, oh, that would have been a pillbox or something like that. But actually no, it's way earlier in terms of its actual original function. Now, probably the only sad part about this, or the probably the interesting tale, I'm not sure if it was sad or not, was that it was started in November 1918, and it was literally only in use for a matter of days before the end of World War One. So they built this literally days before the end of World War One. And again, like I said, there would have been a few buildings here, but it proved to be perfect location, because obviously we're up in the South Downs here, and you can imagine actually the bombs echoing across the sort of valley and stuff as you were here, sort of the sound of that crackle in the distance, sort of sounding like thunder and lightning. If you're anywhere sort of near or close, imagine it echoing down into the neighbouring villages. And as you can see, we are gorgeously situated by the Sussex coast just here. But yeah, so this is what this was, and most locals apparently would have called it the Bomb House as well, so everybody sort of knew roughly what it was. Although what's interesting actually is that in historical records it is very difficult to find any bits of added information on this. And then what happened was we've been here before in this channel, everybody. What happened before, well, after put my teeth in, Dan, there's Devil's Dyke over there, the actual, well, it's now a vintage inn, I think it is. That was requisitioned in World War II by, yes, you guessed it, because we're on the South Downs, the Royal Canadian Military, or the Royal Canadian Army. And they'd be using this for training during World War II. So yeah, them pesky Canadians would have been up here during World War II as well. So I mean, the Devil's Dyke, it's got a huge amount of history. Obviously, Devil's Dyke itself, actually just beyond that, there's it was actually a hill fort, Devil's Dyke hill fort, which is in the sort of trees behind the pub itself. And yeah, but today, piece of rare World War One history. Amazing. Testing and storing for detonators. And yes, it does smell of pee in there, everybody. Obviously this would have survived during World War II, so you can imagine actually the Canadian Army probably using this as well for maybe storage or something. I mean, there's no actual record that I can find of that, but the fact that this still survives and obviously would have been around during World War II, you can imagine it. Maybe even for practices. I'm just sort of surmising here. There you go. World War One piece of history, affectionately known as the bomb house. Used to store and make detonators, whilst just beyond, on the opposite side, they were dropping bombs from 250 feet up. There you go. Well, mini little video that for today, wasn't it? Hope you really enjoyed it. I'm just gonna walk up here now. Oh, what a beautiful area. National Trust own this, so as you can imagine, unfortunately the car parking is a little bit ridiculous with how much it costs, but there you go. You hopefully pay for the fact that you're getting most of that being maintained at the same token. Obviously, because it is now early morning, people are starting to come out, go for their walk, go for their own little adventure and explore. And as I was sort of walking around here, interestingly enough, as you can see on the floor, there are remnants of bricks here everywhere. See? So again, Devil's Dyke's always going to have this sort of, you know, usage throughout its ages. In fact, it's so interesting that you can pretty much date it from such a long period of time. You know, Iron Age hill fort all the way up through to the World War II. Amazing. And then pesky Canadians, the Royal Canadian Army, bless them, coming up here and training. I mean, again, at some point it would have been really noisy, and then before that, should I say, probably even more famous than anything else really, was that it was used as a tourist attraction during the Victorian period. There you go. There's some more bricks there. Well, there you go. The World War One bomb house, Devil's Dyke. Hopefully you really enjoyed that. Hopefully you liked this brief little video. It wasn't going to be extensive, but it's just really cool because it's something to do with the channel, something to do with Sussex history. Very passionate about that, even though I'm a Kent lad. Always good to document these types of things. So yeah, really hope you like that, everybody. In more words of Phoenix history, thank you so much for coming along with me. Because history matters, feel free to spread the word of the channel. And I'll see you all very soon. Ready? Kapow.